Welcome to the Businessmen and Women of Color podcast. I am your host, Ann Alston, and it is my pleasure to bring quality programs to all of you. I am so excited to be once again on another podcast with another amazing speaker. You guys are going to want to love to hear what she's got to talk about. She has a whole lot going on. And I want to also encourage everyone to please take the time to visit every single page that's on the podcast and take the time to listen to the information that's being presented, because they are here giving you great advice and also helping you with your career decisions. So please take advantage of this unique opportunity. Just in case you didn't know what the purpose of the podcast is, it's not only to share business information and to network with other small businesses, but it's also to encourage people who are thinking about getting a career in that industry. It gives you more information on what you need to know so that you can make an informed career choice. We would like to also take the time to thank our corporate sponsors, which are a family of authors, Butler Armstead Consulting Solutions, Human Resource Learning Center, J&F Enterprises, and Women Offering Wealth, along with all of our other business partners and sponsors. Thank you so much for making this event a success. So before I introduce our next amazing speaker, I want to just give a brief comment about empowerment. This is my all-time favorite word. This is the favorite thing that I love to do, and I even wrote a book about it, everybody knows. But I need you guys to hear it from a different perspective, because there are different ways that we can empower someone, and the word empowerment can mean something different to someone else. So if you are happy with yourself or your current situation, you may feel empowered, or maybe you have a lot of money and you might feel empowered, or maybe you're just happy with your just being who you are can make you feel empowered. But above all, we have to also focus on our youth to make sure that they are loved, that they are valued, and that they have potential, and that you tell them that they are empowered as well. So our next amazing speaker is the queen of empowerment. As I read her two bios that she sent me, because I was very amazed, that her organization is called SHEPower, which exemplifies the meaning of spreading empowerment wherever she goes. Arlena Waller is the CEO and founder of SHEPower, and she is the SHEPower ambassador. Arlena is also certified as a leadership and personal brand coach who has empowered thousands of individuals to find their unique voice and to give power to their goals and visions. In addition to her main business, she also has other organizations such as SHEPower Foundation, SHEPower Socialites, and Bakersfield Black, as well as she's also an author. So she has a whole lot that she's going on in terms of publications to help people achieve whatever it is that they want to achieve. Now, I will say that her background consists of being in the entertainment field, working as a producer and a promoter, and she's also used that skill to also bring upon entrepreneurship and leadership skills. And so with that, she has so many other things going on, working for New York Life, Farmers Insurance, Verizon, and giving presentations and speaking engagements, as well as even getting humanitarian awards from the California SBDC Small Business Award of the Year. And it's just so much that I want her to actually talk about her achievements. So ladies and gentlemen, bring up Miss Waller. Come on, girl. I can't even say it all.
That woman.
It was so much, but you know
make
what?
her sound amazing.
Listen, you are very amazing, okay? All these
Well, thank
speakers are
you.
amazing, and you're amazing. So please tell me, what is SHEPower?
So SHEPower is a platform that I've developed to empower 1 million women and teens to boldly own their SHEPower without apology. Because what I've learned through the years of working with women, sometimes we're powerful, sometimes we're fabulous, sometimes we're amazing, but we'll water it down, not to seem arrogant or bold. And so men have, for many years, have been given permission to stand in their power, and women have not. So with this shift that's going on right now in our society, this platform could not have come at a better time, because this is a woman's time. And this is a time for her to say, I own my SHEPower without apology. That's what SHEPower at the core is all about.
That's fantastic. And it kind of almost aligns a little bit with my Empower Thyself book. Because that is basically what you're saying is you don't have to give people permission to do what you want to do. If you want to be whoever you want to be, you don't need to ask permission. You don't have to apologize for it. You can just take these tools and you do it, and that's fantastic. So, with the Sheep Power, how many people have you actually touched with this message throughout your journey working with the different industries and even in your entertainment background?
Oh, I, so many people, especially so many women. Women has really been my niche throughout all my companies. That's really the core of who I reach. But of course, we reach all people. We know if you bring women in or coming in, so are the children. So I've had the privilege of reaching thousands and thousands of people. We launched SHEPower Socialites in March of last year in honor of Women's History Month. And probably through our doors, each month we do a social. I would probably say we've touched over 500 women within that year. We're almost at 100 members, and that's great for Bakersfield because it's a very small city. We're getting ready to do our gala on April the 17th. We're honoring some amazing women in our community who own their SHEPower. The mayor's recognizing us. We have media sponsors. Senators are coming out giving them accolades. So it's just really a great time right now to be able to take this brand and for women to latch onto it, hold hands as sisters, and stand together.
Okay, okay. I'm trying to envision myself being where you are with 500 women who all want to be and feel empowered in the same room holding hands, and I think that that will be spectacular. Have you done events? Well, I would say how many women have you actually had like in one event where they were all like getting this message from you? What was like your
So
biggest
probably
event?
at one of our biggest event here in Bakersfield was probably 225 people in the room, and it was just powerful. But then I've also spoken at other events where I've had 500 or 1,100. So we've had an opportunity to reach women. I spoke at a conference with 2,000 women. So we get an opportunity to just really impact and touch
Wow.
women's lives. But and the message is always about SHEPower, spreading
Wow.
that love, spreading that sisterhood. And I can tell you this, Ann, when we talk about empowering women,
Mhm.
I've had women through this movement who have come up to me and have said, because when we hear other women's stories, we become empowered.
Mhm.
And when we see modeling of other women, it gives us hope that we too can do that. I've had women who have broken loose from things that they've been holding in and tearing them apart for years. I've had women start doing the internal work to own her power. I've had women come out of relationships that they should not have been in and boldly step in. I've had women come up and share that I'm going for that promotion or I'm going for that additional degree that I should have done a long time ago. Or you know what? I own 4 businesses and I've been hiding because I don't want people to know. I'm going to start coming out and letting people know. This thing is changing people's lives. It's changing
Wow.
women's lives. And when we change women's lives, we change community.
Oh wow. My gosh. Wow, that
Yeah.
sounds empowering just the way you put that all together. So, okay, so let me ask you, how did you come up with the She Power? What was it that ticked in your brain and said, "You know what? I'm going to start this She Power because of this reason." What was that reason for you?
So it was definitely a God thing. My former company was Rich Girl Entertainment, which I've had for 10 years. And we did a show in Dallas, Texas called Girls Do Talk. And it was a very popular show. We would have an all-girl panel. We would invite different guests on, and we would do a cocktail hour with our show. So we'll have a cocktail sponsor, and, they'll have cocktails. The women would talk. We did a live show. It was a lot of fun. And at the core of what that was about is women connecting, women being empowered, women changing. And so as time went on, I moved with my husband to another city, and the opportunities for television weren't really there for me. I didn't have the relationships to be able to continue doing what it is that I did in Dallas. So I took some time off, and I was just mom. And I was praying, God, what is it that you really want me to do? I've been on this journey for so long. I've helped so many people. I've helped so many brands. I've built so many great campaigns. but I don't feel fulfilled. What is it that you want me to do? And sometimes in business, you're going to have that shift, or sometimes you got to go into the valley to get back to the next mountaintop. You got to give yourself what I call that whatever time. That means whatever I'm feeling, whatever I'm thinking, wherever I am, I'm okay with it. You have to give yourself that permission. So I gave myself that permission, and God gave me this SHEPower journey. Because Rich Girl, a lot of people loved it, but then I had women who thought it was about money. Rich Girl at its core was really about having the things that money can't buy. And so I started testing this SHEPower hashtag, and it picked up. And I started doing that background work. As business owners, we got to do that background work a lot of times before we fully launch something. Just kind of do that, what I call drip marketing. Just drip it, drip it, drip it. And it was actually starting to take kind of like a life of its own. And so when we launched in March, women were fully ready for it. And so it came because I came from a family of 10 women, same mom and dad. And being in a city where my sisters were not, I found it challenging to find women that I can connect with, like-minded women, women that look like me, urban women, black women. I found it a challenge here in Bakersfield. And so I wanted to create something for women like me who were looking for other women to be friends with, to be sisters with, to do business with, to have fun with. And it's been an answer.
That's fantastic. So one of the questions that's always been burning in my mind as I'm listening to you talk about how women feel when they're empowered and how your inspiration to start She Power and all that, I can't help but think about some of my own experiences too and being around women. And so the question I want to ask, because I want to get your perspective on this point, is with the empowerment that we give to women and what they get out of it, do you really feel that they are really going to follow through and stay empowered, or or do you feel like we go back into that circle again where we're competitive and we're starting to contemplate and procrastinate and things of that nature? Because while we're all in the room being empowered, some people might make a change, and then there's a lot others that still kind of sit on their dreams. So what is your perspective on that scenario?
I believe just like in marketing, you have to have multiple touches in order to get the message right. You just don't get it the first time. So with SHEPower, being that we meet every single month, we're kind of held accountable. And in the culture of what I've created, it's not necessarily a networking club. It's definitely a social club because we don't encourage women to bring business cards, but to put your phone in each other's cell phone so that we can continue touching each other, right? And so we will dip back into the cattiness. We will dip back into the self-doubt or the self-hate or the victim mentality, all those things that can take us off our God-given target. Yeah, as women, it happens. I don't care what point in your life you are. It happens. So if we have a sisterhood in place where we're touching on a regular basis in a warm, safe zone, then we're going to have someone to say, you're going. Nope, I see you slipping. Nah, we're not doing that. And you have someone to continually push you. That's when I truly believe that those changes that are needed come. You can go to a conference and be empowered like crazy, but if you never touch base with anyone there again, you're going to dip back, like you said, to your low place. So
Yeah.
I think in order for women to change, we have to have constant touches with each other. And we have to make the decision to be our sister's keeper. We have to make that decision. When that cattiness and that gossip and all those things start, you got to call on the rug and say, we can't do this. This is how we rip each other apart. I'm your keeper. I want to make sure you're good. And that's how we're going to create those changes we need, by taking personal responsibility.
And I think that's what makes She Power so unique, because I see so many women's empowerment events out there, and I've actually been to several of them. But I don't think that we're doing what you're doing, which is follow up. It's the, like you
Yes,
said, putting their phone numbers in your cell phone or staying connected to them to say, hey, I am still here. I haven't went anywhere. If you need help, here I am. And sometimes, like you said, people might need a little hand holding. They might need a little push
yes,
to, to get them to see that, whatever you're going through is not that bad. You have support. And I think that,
yes.
underlining thing that you're doing is what makes She Power so prominent out there. So with that, I think you mentioned to me somewhere that you might be doing a he power, because
So,
men got to be powerful too. They're not going to let us be powerful by ourselves. Okay, so we have to add the men's in here.
so the men have, I have been having men randomly reach out to me. What about us? What about, And so we have in the works where we're going to do quarterly events, definitely not monthly events, because men don't need as much as we women. Sometimes I just need to walk in there after a rough week, and I just need for one of my sisters in the room to give me that good hug, and that just makes things a little bit better. Men don't need as much as that. So we're gonna do quarterly events for men that's geared towards them, give them that time for brotherhood and bonding. So yeah, we can't do as much for the men. They don't need as much. And I could be wrong for saying that, but a good game, some good trash talk, maybe a good scripture read or something. They're good. They don't require as much.
Yeah, they don't require much. But I do think it's important that there are, I mean, I'm pretty sure there are men that probably feel the way you feel. I think for me, the way I look at it is that I think they need just as much reinforcement of self-confidence as women. We are not afraid to like get together and self-confidence and help each other in that aspect. And you're right, a lot of men don't always require to have that. They just want to have their little bonding time, maybe exchange a phone number every now and then they good, right? But
Right.
underlining though, when we look at our African American men out here, I think for me, empowering the men is just as equal as empowering the women. We are losing our men. We are losing our men because of lack of confidence in certain areas. And I think that maybe we should come together as a community of empowerers, to bring the men back in. Um, but that's just the way that I'm kind of looking at it. And I'm pretty sure that people who are listening to this podcast who also do empowerment are probably like, I never thought about that. Or I like either way, perspective. But whatever it is, whatever talent you have, reach out. And if you see that there's a gap somewhere in there, we got the empowerment. We can stick that anywhere, right? As
I
long
think
as
you're
it,
absolutely right. When I got invited to speak to teens, that hasn't been my audience, but this year I've had the opportunity to speak to several teen groups. And I started doing my research because I was like nervous. I was like, there's no way they're going to get me. I've been talking to women all these years or professionals. They're probably going to just be bored. So I started doing my research to what are their issues, what I need to talk to them about. And I found in my research that depression is at a much higher rate in teen boys than it is in teen girls. So I think you're onto something.
yeah, but see, here's the thing. I have four sons, and I kind of see it from a 360 view, because for the first part, I'm a single mom, and then I'm married, and now it's both of us raising, four boys. But I'm also looking at it from what they see outside the home. I'm looking at what's happening in the street, what's happening. I mean, everybody is knowledgeable about what's going on in the African American community. So when
Right.
you have a young man that's constantly seeing that, it plays on their psyche, it plays on their
Very
self-confidence,
true.
and they may have this facade on the outside that everything is okay, but technically we don't know if they're really okay. And if we're just constantly like yay women all the time, and we're not yay men, then how does that look as a black woman supporting the black man? So for me to be an empowerer on my side of the fence, I want to empower men and women equally to say, if you're having these issues, it will work for you, regardless of where you are. I don't care if you're young or old or however, because they are, even though they are disparate in their emotions, but they still have feelings and they still have thoughts, and they want and they desire, just like women, they just do it differently. And I think as fellow empowerers, we should use our talents to empower wherever there's a need. And that's just me, but
No.
I
I
love
absolutely
your
agree with
sea
you.
power. I want your
I
I want your
absolutely
thing to
agree.
get out there. Yeah. So sorry, I didn't mean to take
Because I
over,
have
but
two sons. I have two sons, so and I'm raising them to be kings to lead in their community in the world. So I
Mhm.
understand what you're saying, but you just answered. I just met my executive director, and I was going back and forth about a project,
Uh-huh.
and you just answered a question for me. So if nothing else came from this call, thank you for
Oh,
that answer.
well, you're welcome. I hope I gave you a good answer. But you know
You
what?
did.
Okay, fun. Okay, now tell me some more about the Bakersfield Black and some of the other companies that that you have, that you work with, and what services you provide.
So Bakersfield Black is a social movement that I created here in Bakersfield, California, because when I moved here from Texas, I couldn't find the black community and I couldn't find black excellence. I'm your average citizen. If I can't find it, then it must be an elitist type group, and I don't do elitist. So I looked and searched, and I couldn't find what I was looking for. So I developed it. And basically, this is really a movement in this city to get the black community to be proud of who they are, to step up in excellence, and to embrace each other and try and find answers for things that are going on in the black community. And so since this movement has been launched, there's been a shift of excellence in our community. There's been a shift of us finding seats at the table, ultimately where you create real movement by being at the table where the decision makers are, building a relationship with decision makers, showing up. And so there's been a real shift in the community. A small example of that is I was invited to serve on a board with the California State University, Bakersfield, which is our D1 university here in Bakersfield. And I was the first black woman to serve on that board in its 45-year history for the scholarship fund. First year, I got the Diversity Awards for my efforts in the black community. Second year, I got the Inspirational Award, just really creating a shift and a change and a presentation of excellence in the black community. Bakersfield Black was very instrumental in that movement here in the city, and we continue that work. And the whole goal of that is to be exclusive, to be inclusive.
Wow, you done a lot, girl. You done a lot.
It's a
I.
God thing, you know. It's really when He gives you a ministry,
Mhm.
as a lot of us who are motivators and those who empower others, it's a gift from Him, and we have to take ourselves out of it and truly focus in and hear His voice, because He'll bring people along the journey to support what He has given you the vision to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, what do you need as a small business? Because here it is, you're on the podcast with all these amazing speakers, all these amazing listeners that's out there that's going to tune into the podcast. What do you need for your business or just for yourself to connect with others?
So I think the secret sauce to success in business is collaboration. So I'm always looking to collab with like-minded business people who may be able to bring something to the table that I don't have. We always need a platform to take it national and global. So if anyone's out there who really are interested in the work that I'm doing, willing to share their national, global platform, if they're looking for speakers, I'm willing to show up. If they like my SHEPower movement and want to partake in it, these are ways that can help. And as in any small business, you always need funding, whether that's sponsorship or whether that's a donation. That's always a big thing for myself and small businesses, to be able to do a lot of the work I do through sponsorships and donations. And that allows us to go out there and change those lives that those who have the resources don't have the time to go change. So those are some of the ways that really can help me to continue doing my work and continue doing it in excellence.
Fantastic. Well, first of all, I want to thank you for being on the podcast and sharing all this wonderful information. Everybody who's listening, I want you to make sure that you reach out to Ms. Waller. Just reach out. Her contact information is on this page. And I think her speaker sheet is also going to be there, so you'll know exactly what SHEPower and all of her different organizations do and how she impacts the community and how she can impact your community. So with that, I want to thank you for being on the podcast today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And we're like a diamond. We're big at the top, but we come down to the core of one message. So I thank you for allowing me to share that message.
Absolutely.